It's a great day to be a Blue Jays fan, huh? They're going wild north of the border because George Springer is their man. The Jays have been in everybody. This is their top priority. It's the largest free agent deal ever in Blue Jays history. $150 million for George Springer. You know, Vernon Wells is the big extension back in the day, but for a free agent, they got Springer. They got their guy. 140 OPS plus in 51 games in 2020. This guy's a three-time All-Star. 2 Silver Sluggers, 2017 World Series MVP. Bottom line is, Cliffy, he's an absolute stud.
Yes,
the Jays got a huge upgrade, not only offensively, but defensively in center field.
Game changer. A guy that you can bring in and sort of just change a little bit of the culture in the clubhouse and on the field. When you look at this team the last couple of seasons, even making the postseason, they're a team that needed another guy to add to the mix. And I'm interested to see how it happens for Charlie Montoyo now as far as lineup, situations and where he inserts them. I will lead him off because he can put that one on the board immediately in the first inning. But what he brings is just, you solidify center field, and then now, I don't know, you might have a different bench. Now look, they have a slew of outfielders. You talk about Teoscar Hernandez, breakout season. Gurriel, has figured it out in left field. Richard, you signed to that $50 million deal. So now you have a guy that solidifies center field, but some guys going to come into spring training. This is what I love, fun competition. Day one, you better come with it because George Springer, is going to be that guy, but he brings some intangibles that you can't sort of find elsewhere. He's a priceless type of player that you need. You need a guy like George Springer. He's learned how to win. He's learned how to do some things at the big league level that can change things for a team that's on the cusp of being consistent in the postseason, and that's why you make this type of play.
And how about that projected lineup? You got Springer, you got Bichette, you got Bo Bichette, you got Vlad Jr. You mentioned Teoscar Hernandez with a Silver Slugger. Listen, this lineup is ridiculous. Gurriel, Rowdy Tellez, Grichuk, Alejandro Kirk, Danny Jansen. That's depth. We always talk about depth and length in the lineup. The Jays have it now.
Well, aesthetically, you look at that and you go, well, that's it. That's what you want. You and I both know, we've seen baseball a lot. You're not going to score 10 runs tonight. You need some pitching, you need some defense, you need some guys to do some different things. But Charlie has the lineups now where he can maneuver some things on certain days. You give your regulars a day off, and on Saturdays and Sundays, boom, you still put that winning lineup out there, and that's what you want. These guys have learned how to win. They've learned how to deal with some of the things that happen where they've become young, a young veteran type of minded group. Where you can't get complacent, but you have to figure out how to be not just happy to be at the big leagues. This is what this team has figured out. They had some adversity playing in Buffalo last year. All the things that you look at and go, adversity can ruin you. But now you look at them and go, we've grown up. And add a guy like George Springer, to add some of the pieces we won't get to in a minute, Kirby Yates, Tyler Chatwood, all these guys, it's just adding to the mix of them feeling like we're contenders in a tough AL East.
Still need another starting pitcher, I think, because after review, Roark, you say, okay, Ross Stripling, Nate Pearson's a stud, but he's not throwing 200 innings just yet. I still would like another pitcher before I consider them favorites to the AL East. But to your point, Cliff, of the bullpen, Chatwood, 1 year, $3 million. Okay, that's a good bullpen piece. Maybe he's a 6th, 7th inning guy. And Kirby Yates, listen, 2018, 2019, guy was lights out. Last year was hurt. You signed for 1 year, $8 million plus incentives. That could be your closer. That's a steal.
I mean, that's a definite steal. You talk about 41 saves a couple years ago. And to me, just get them back to feeling good. You know what you're going to get. You don't know how the elbow's going to respond to having surgery and so on and so forth. But I think the biggest thing is let him go out there, be a part of a team that has some, that has some depth, and allow him to sort of get back into that, that killer state where he felt like he could close out that ninth inning, because the precious 3 outs are at the back end. You got to get those outs. He knows that. Everybody knows that. But to have that name in that bullpen is going to help the mindset of all those boys.
And you look at that American League East and you go, wow, the Rays lost 40% of their playoff rotation. Snell's gone, Morton's gone. Yankees, Paxton, Tanaka, Happ, all could be gone. But there's some questions now. The Blue Jays are feeling pretty good.